Okay, let's see. What do you need to be aware of? What's going on behind the scenes? Two came out. Judgment. And the image for the judgment card, the guy low-key kind of looked like he's like, doing that little whisper thing, like, shh, whatever. So it could be someone being secretive or something. That's the first thing I saw when I was looking at that image. It could be someone possibly with like blonde hair. They could have light hair, light features, something about them. Someone could be hiding something from you, or this could be regarding someone that's like lighter than you. Okay. Judgment upright, judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, mercy. This person could be seeking forgiveness or wanting forgiveness for something, possibly. We also have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So that represents like disharmony, misalignment, working alone, lack of teamwork, disorganized group conflict. So this person could be suffering behind the scenes. There could be someone that you walked away from the past that is kind of like trying to put on like a strong face that they're okay, but the reality is that they feel like they're dealing with inner conflict, they're dealing with disharmony in their life, they're misaligned because they feel like you don't want to work with them anymore. This could even be like a job, like a former employer that kind of like took you for granted, and then they're not letting people know that they're suffering without you, is what I'm getting. But I guess this is confirmation that these people or this person is suffering because you walked away. And then we have the World upright, completion, accomplishment, wholeness, attainment, fulfillment, travel, celebration of life, arriving. So they kind of feel as though you're living your life, you're just living your life, you're focused on yourself, you're not focused on these other people. And I kind of get that there could be some people that are like maybe watching you, or they're assuming things about your life. They feel like because they saw your potential, so they know that like if this is in love, this is someone that if they were like trying to hold you back or tear your self-esteem down, because you're no longer attached to them, they don't have the power to do that, and they know that you're going to go far because you're not connected to them anymore. In terms of work, they probably want you to hold you back, but because you separated from them, they don't have you're not chained down anymore. So they're kind of stuck in the past. And then again, with the person with like the light features, they're just watching you. They're just watching you succeed, and they're just kind of bitter about that. They could have had people around them that also had issues with you, and they also want you to stay stagnant. But these people see you now as someone who's traveling, who's experiencing life, who's having fun or whatever. And they're bitter about that because they feel stuck and they're at the same spot and place. And then we have the Five of Swords upright. So that means conflict, disagreements, competition, defeat, winning at all costs, sneakiness, bullies, theft, abusive relationships. Yeah, this could have been an abusive relationship that you walk away from. Abusive, like, could have been like an abusive ex-employer as well, or abusive co-workers, abusive friends, abusive family members. You walked away from these people, but these were people that were like bullies. They were in competition with you. They kind of like had a mindset where they wanted to, I'm getting the word trap. They wanted to trap you because they felt like you were lucky, and they didn't like that. They wanted to put a whole bunch of obstacles and blockages in your life because they were kind of like jealous, is what I'm getting, and they didn't want you to succeed. I'm getting crabs in a barrel syndrome, and now these people are like contemplating whether they should have like let you go because they're suffering. Let's get the energy of how they feel because, well, we already know how they feel because you left, but let's see like if we get some more details regarding this. Let's see. Okay, we have abundance. This is you. This is your energy. And then let me get their energy. Let me get some of their energy. We have ascension tension. That kind of came out like upside down. So I kind of get it as though they see you kind of, like I said before, they see you as someone who's kind of like creating, like, you have a lot of abundance. You're gathering a lot of what's it called, you are making a lot of accomplishments, achievements. You have a lot of spiritual abundance, physical abundance, different types of abundance that they're envious of. And these are people that are trying to get to that level of abundance that they see you going towards. However, we have ascension tension. And ascension tension is when you're kind of like climbing up the ladder to success, but then you start getting like, you start feeling negative. Like, what is it? Like, when you're pushing through, new levels creates new devils type things. And sometimes when you're closer to your goal, you start second guessing yourself. But what I get is that these were kind of like people that were part of that ascension tension while you were climbing up, but they weren't able to cause you to fall down. You still climbed regardless of what they were doing and achieved your abundance. And they're kind of jealous about that because they also want to climb up, but they don't have the ambition, the perseverance that you do. So it's kind of like that. These people don't have the same endurance, perseverance. They don't have the thick skin that you do. They couldn't take you off your path, but they're easily swayed off of their path because they're weak. I'm getting weak-minded. So they could dish it out, but they can't take it, is what I'm getting. So they're still at the same level where you left them. They haven't like succeeded, but they're seeing you succeed. And you could have accomplished something recently that they're jealous of, because this is something that they were competing with you to accomplish on their own, or they were in competition with you to make it to a certain level. But it's more so like an envy thing where they were kind of trying to beat you to it, but then, push you down so that you don't make it to where they're at type thing. So, yeah, I'll just get one more just to see if we get some more on their energy. We get more on their energy. I get that they're having like a lack of sleep. Indulge. We got indulge. So these people, due to this, they could be indulging, but not in like a positive way. I'm getting like, basically, when you're like depressed or something, so you like overeat, you overdrink, you're just not really on the right path. I'm getting that they're indulging and they're doing too much of something because they're like, a good example would be, let's say you live with somebody and they're in like competition with you for like, who has the most fit body. That's really random, but who's the most fit. So the thing is that person, the only reason they're kind of competing with you, well, your existence kind of like drives them to kind of quote unquote keep pushing themselves. But because you're not there anymore, they're kind of like letting that stuff. They don't have that encouragement to keep a certain habit. I don't know how to explain it. It's like your existence fueled them into actually trying to put in work, but it was out of like competitiveness. Like, let's say also you have a associate's degree, for example. So somebody, once you got into their life, they started, trying to compete to get like their bachelor's degree, and they were like going into school and stuff, and they were like, it was because they wanted to outdo you, but you're not in their life anymore, so they're kind of letting that other stuff kind of fall behind, because in their head it's like, okay, there's no reason they're not here, so they're indulging and going back into bad habits that they were in prior to. So yeah.